Tekrar herkese merhaba. Şimdi bu 8. hafta olarak kabul ediyoruz. Bu haftanın son dersini yapacağız şimdi. En son ne yapmıştık? Bakalım. Evet, Lidyalıların sonu gelmişti en son. That was the end of Lydia demiştik. Now it's the Persian period, okay? From 547 to 330 BC, most parts of Anatolia will be under the domination of the Persian Empire. When Cyrus, representing ruling dynasty, took the throne of Persia, the Near East was divided between the Medes, Babylonians, Lydians, and Cilician kingdoms. After defeating the Medes, Persia extended his territories as far as the river Hellas in central Anatolia. Cyrus's main target was to expand his borders towards west and to control the main harbors of the Mediterranean and trading routes from east to west. This was realized by the defeat of the Lydian state in 547 BC. Later, he was to bring the Babylonian kingdom under the Persian domination in 539 BC. Persia has gained the control of the Near East and Greece. Greek city-states in Asia Minor, with the help of Spartans, put some resistance against the Persians. However, they never succeeded permanently. Cyrus began ruling the areas he captured by approaching local military rulers, who were called satraps. When Cyrus the Great died in 529 BC, he left behind him an empire extended from Thrace to Indian Ocean. For the next 2 centuries, until the arrival of Alexander the Great and the conquest of Persia by him, the Persian Empire was the superpower of the ancient world. From then on, for 3 centuries, the history of Near East, including Anatolia, is considered as the Hellenistic period. This Hellenistic period covers from the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC to the death of Cleopatra and annexation of Egypt by the Romans in 30 BC. It was the age of many kings who were former generals of Alexander. Kings constantly fought with each other for territory, wealth, and glory. Many kings died at the battlefields, fighting against their rivals. These frequent wars came to weaken the Hellenistic kingdoms, and they were all absorbed by first Parthian kings, and later, and finally, by the Romans. Okay. Now I want to skip to another historical place, okay? I want to talk about Pamukkale. Pamukkale, meaning cotton castle in Turkish, is a natural site in Denizli in southwestern Turkey. The area is famous for a carbonate mineral left by the flowing water. It is located in Turkey's inner Aegean region in the river Menderes Valley, which has a temperate climate for most of the year. The ancient Greco-Roman city of Hierapolis was built on top of the White Castle, which is in total about 2,700 meters long and 600 meters wide and 160 meters high. It can be seen from the hills on the opposite side of the valley in the town of Denizli, 20 kilometers away. Known as Pamukkale, or Cotton Castle, or ancient Hierapolis, which means holy city, this area has been drawing the weary travelers, to its thermal springs since the time of classical antiquity. The Turkish name refers to the surface of the shimmering, snow-white limestone shaped over millennia by calcium-rich springs. Dripping slowly down the vast mountainside, mineral-rich waters foam and collect in terraces, spilling over cascades of stalactites into milky pools below. Legend has it that the formations are solidified cotton that giants left out to dry. Tourism is and has been a major industry in this area for thousands of years due to the attraction of the thermal pools. As recently as the mid-20th century, hotels were built over the ruins of Hierapolis, causing considerable damage. An approach road was built from the valley over the terraces, and motorbikes were allowed to go up and down the slopes. When the area was declared a World Heritage Site, the hotels were demolished and the road removed and replaced with artificial pools. Overshadowed by natural wonder, Pamukkale's well-preserved Roman ruins and museum have been remarkably underestimated and unadvertised. Tourist brochures over the past 20 years have mainly featured photos of people bathing in the calcium pools. Aside from a small footpath running up the mountain face, the terraces are all currently off-limits, having suffered erosion and water pollution at the feet of tourists. Pamukkale's terraces are made of travertine, a sedimentary rock deposited by water from the hot springs in this area. There are 17 hot water springs in which the temperature ranges from 35 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. The water that emerges from the spring is transported 320 meters to the head of the travertine terraces and deposits calcium carbonate on a section 60 to 70 meters long, covering an expanse of 24 meters to 30 meters. When the water, supersaturated with calcium carbonate, reaches the surface, carbon dioxide degasses from it, and calcium carbonate is deposited. Calcium carbonate is deposited by the water as a soft gel, which eventually crystallizes into travertine. There are only a few historical facts known about the origin of the city. No traces of the presence of Hittites or Persians have been found here. The Phrygians built a temple, probably in the first half of the 7th century BC. This temple, originally used by the citizens of the nearby town of Laodicea, would later form the center of Hierapolis. Hierapolis was founded as a thermal spa early in the 2nd century BC within the sphere of Seleucid Empire. Antiochus the Great sent 2,000 Jewish families to Lydia and Phrygia from Babylon and Mesopotamia, later joined by more from the Judea. The Jewish congregation grew in Hierapolis and has been estimated as high as 50,000 in 62 BC. Hierapolis became a healing center where doctors used the thermal springs as a treatment for their patients. The city began minting bronze coins in the 2nd century BC. These coins gave the name Hierapolis. It remains unclear whether this name referred to the original temple or honored Hiera, the wife of Telephus, son of Heracles and the Mysian princess, the supposed founder of Pergamon's Attalid dynasty. This name eventually changed into Hierapolis, which means Holy City. In 133 BC, when Attalus III died, he left his kingdom to Rome. Hierapolis thus became part of the Roman province of Asia. In 17 AD, during the rule of the Emperor Tiberius, a major earthquake destroyed the city. Through the influence of the Christian apostle Paul, a church was founded here while he was at Ephesus. The Christian apostle Philip spent the last years of his life here. The town's martyrium was alleged to have been built on the spot where Philip was crucified in 80 AD. His daughters were also said to have acted as prophetesses in the region. During the 4th century, the Christians filled Plato's Gate with stones, suggesting that Christianity had become the dominant religion here and began replacing other faiths in the area. Originally, the Byzantine Emperor Justinian raised the Bishop of Hierapolis to the rank of metropolitan in 531. The Roman baths were transformed to a Christian basilica. During the Byzantine period, the city continued to flourish and also remained an important center for Christianity. There is a museum here. In this museum, alongside historical artifacts from Hierapolis, there are also artifacts from Laodicea, Colossae, Tripolis, Attuda, and other towns of the Lycos Valley. In addition to these, the museum has a large section devoted to artifacts found at Beyce Sultan Butte that includes some of the most beautiful examples of Bronze Age craft. Artifacts from the Caria, Pisidia, and Lydia regions are also on display in this museum. The museum's exhibition space consists of 3 closed areas of the Hierapolis bath and the open areas in the eastern side, which are known to have been used as the library and gymnasium. The artifacts in open exhibition space are mostly marble and stone. Hierapolis is broken down into ruins. Pamukkale is a tourist attraction. It is recognized as a World Heritage Site together with Hierapolis. Hierapolis and Pamukkale was made a World Heritage Site in 1988. The underground volcanic activity, which causes the hot springs, also forced carbon dioxide into a cave, which was called the Plutonium, which here means place of the god Pluto. This cave was used for religious purposes by priests of Cybele, who found ways to appear immune to the suffocating gas. Also, tadpoles can be found in the pools. And hot air balloon flights are being organized at the sunrise in this area. The hotels that were built in the 1960s were demolished as they were draining the thermal waters into their swimming pools and caused damage to the terraces. The water supply to the hotels is restricted in an effort to preserve the overall site and to allow deposits to regenerate. Access to the terraces is not allowed, and visitors are asked to follow the pathway. And one more little information. The city of Pamukkale has 2 sister cities in the world. One of them is Eger in Hungary, and the other is Las Vegas in the United States of America. Okay, now I've completed my lessons for this week. This is the end of the 5th lesson, and I'm going to see you in our next lesson. Okay? And someone wants to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask your questions in the forum that I will begin near the videos, okay? Videoların yanında arkadaşlar sorularınız olursa diye forum açacağım. Bu forumlarda sorularınız olursa sorabilirsiniz. Aklınıza takılan şeyler olursa sorabilirsiniz. İlk haftamızı bitirdik şimdi. Yani 5. saat olarak kabul ediyorum bunu. 5 video oldu. 1. haftanın sonu. Bundan sonraki video geri kalan 7 haftayı 6 hafta kalmış gibi düşünün. 6 haftalık daha videomuz olacak. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 ve 14. haftalara yükleyeceğim bu videoları. Buralardan takip edersiniz. Forumlara sorularınızı sorabilirsiniz. Bu derslerde anlattığım konulardan final soruları çıkacak. Zamanı gelince finalle ilgili zaten bilgi verilecek size, dediğim gibi 14 Haziran'da. Ama o zamana kadar hani çok net bir şey yok. Hani netleştir, ondan sonra karar vereceğim final sorularına. Evet, şimdilik bu kadar. Kendinize iyi bakın. Görüşmek üzere.
Bye bye. Kendine iyi bakın.
Hadi bakalım.